Well, folks, in today's video, we're going to be unboxing a bunch of vintage HO scale locomotives I picked up off of eBay. Basically, a few weeks ago, I was browsing around when I found this lot, and I was super intrigued by it because inside it there are a whole bunch of vintage Varney, Atherton, and Shoto, all sorts of different brands of locomotives, and most of them are custom painted or they were built from kits probably over 50 years ago. So I was pretty interested in buying it. It was an auction, so I had to outbid everybody, but I ended up winning it, and here it all is. So today we're going to unbox it all, see what locomotives I got, see what kind of condition they're in, and yeah, there'll probably be some projects out of it, but there's only one way to find out. I'm really hoping everything's in decent shape since the box doesn't look so great judging by all of this. But you never know, maybe everything is fine on the inside. Let's find out. Well, here it all is. Now let's open all of these one by one. We'll start with whatever this one is. So right off the bat, we have one of the main reasons I bought this lot, and I believe this is an old 10 Shoto locomotive. As you can see, it's brass, and it's got a really cool paint scheme. I mean, just check this thing out. New York Central. It's in rough shape, you know, the paint is chipping quite a bit, but I kind of like the rough look of it. And yeah, overall it just looked like a really nice model with a super interesting drive system. I have no idea if it runs or not, but either way, this was one of the main reasons I decided to purchase this lot. So there's one thing. Now let's have a look at everything else. Here's a B unit. I don't particularly find this engine very interesting, but it does have a drive system which looks to be in good shape, and I might be able to actually use it on a different project, so this is not a bad thing to find in this lot. So this is something which is just fantastic. It's a B unit for the New York Central locomotive. Matching paint scheme, also made out of brass, and just like the other model, it looks to be in pretty decent shape other than the paint. I really like the look of it. So here we have an old Varney locomotive. This is a dummy unit, as you can see. But if we wanted to, we could actually take the drive out of this B unit and probably swap it pretty easily, which might be nice. The paint scheme on this is certainly not the worst I've seen, but it's also far from the best. And if we wanted, we could, you know, repaint this as well, and then we actually have a good shell and potentially a good drive. So it's all an option, really, which is the great thing about all these older engines. So this one right here is not particularly special. It's an old Atherton locomotive. It's got one of their better drives, though. This was, I think, similar to the band drive era, with the exception of it actually having proper worm gear and motor. It's only 4-wheel drive, but it's a decent model. And despite it being a stock model, too, I mean, the paint scheme is kind of cool. So, yeah, not a bad thing to find in here. Now this was another one of the main reasons I bought this lot. Just check out this old Varney locomotive. It's got a pretty common Varney drive in it, but the paint scheme is really nice. It's an old Reading locomotive. Unfortunately, the paint has mostly peeled off on this side. I don't really know why it's in so much better condition on the other, but either way, it's a really nice locomotive. I don't know how easy it would be to try to restore this, but if we could get both sides, you know, looking the same, this could be a very nice addition to the collection. And I'm really a fan of the older Varney locomotives. Again, no idea if it runs or not. We'll have to find out at some point, but either way, super cool looking locomotive. This one right here is a pretty common locomotive. It's just an old Mantua Tyco. It's got the 5-pole motor in it. These are fairly reliable drives, but as I said, nothing too rare. It's not in perfect condition. It is missing one of the truck covers, but just judging by how simple this drive is, I think I have a pretty good feeling this one's gonna run. And finally, we've got just an old kind of chassis slash drive system off a Varney locomotive. There's no shell or anything, but there are a ton of useful parts on this. And I do have another Varney project in the works. So, you know, this may all come in useful. I don't know. This was another reason I actually did buy this lot. I know it's not terribly exciting, but still, so many useful parts. Well, that's about it for the unboxing, but I'm kind of wondering what the mechanical condition of all these locomotives is, so why don't we take them all over to the track and see how they react to 12 volts. I'm going to start with the B unit. It's certainly not the most exciting locomotive in the lot, but I am pretty curious to see if the drive is any good. It's almost undoubtedly going to need some oil and maintenance either way, but we'll just see if it will do anything at all. And I don't know if you can hear that, but the motor is humming, and we have high current draw, so... Oh! Yeah, the drive seems to be seized, but the engine's getting power, which is a positive sign. But who knows, the lubricants in this thing could be original from the factory or from whenever this might have been built. So that's not so good. Next up, we've got the Pennsylvania Railroad F unit from Tyco Mantua. I'm pretty confident this thing is going to start to some extent. Might be a little rough, but yeah. Well, it moved for a second there. That doesn't seem to want to go. Well, I really don't know what the story with that is, but it seems to be running. Oh, it's back again. Probably just needs to have its wheels cleaned. Yeah, those have seen better days, but we could definitely get this thing working a little better. Here's the Athearn locomotive. I think this one's got a decent shot of starting. It's certainly not their kind of blue box era reliability, but it's still got a very simple drive. Well, we had something for a second there. Oh, yeah. This one runs really well. In fact, it's even got a working headlight. Well, that's nice. Here's the Reading locomotive. I don't know if this one's going to go or not. Again, it's got the old Varney 5-pole drive. Wow. That runs really well with the exception of the current draw being pretty high, but that's probably just because the drive hasn't received oil in goodness knows how many years. That's a terrific start though. I don't know, for some reason my expectations were lower for this one. I shouldn't have underestimated it. And finally, the New York Central locomotive by Ten Shoto. Let's see if it will do anything. I'm not very familiar with these drives, so I don't know if it's going to go or not. I've got a really beautiful looking headlight, but nothing from the motor. I'm not hearing anything, and the current draw is really low, so it doesn't seem like this locomotive is picking up power. I'll try seeing if maybe we can awaken it. Oh! It's going. It sounds like it's derailed, but all the wheels are on the track, so I don't really know what the story with that is. And we seem to have lost the motor again. It's pretty rough, but the current draw isn't too high. It's undoubtedly going to need some work of some sort. Although it already seems to be smoothing out a little bit, so that's really good. So this is a terrific start. Certainly serviced the whole drive, but I'm really happy with that. What a fantastic engine. Well, folks, that's going to be about it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed, and with that, I'd like to thank you all so much for watching.